오호! Let's go! Made it! Yeah! Let's go! Yeah! Oh. Yes, I'm a winner. Yeah. Made it. Yeah. Let's go. Secret. Yo. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Yo. Let's go. Yeah. Oh. Made it! Yeah! Yo! Let's go!
Woo!
Made it! Yeah. Oh yeah! Let's go! Ah, oh. Yes, I'm a winner. Yeah. Let's go. Made it. Yo. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go! Yeah. Let's go! go! 呀啊哟，Let's go！哇呀！哇哇啊！呀！哇哦！I did！呀！哇啊！Made it! Yeah! Yo! Yo! Let's go! Wow! Made it! Yo! Oh, yeah!
What? What? What?
Let's go! Yeah! Yes, I'm a winner. Made it. Ha. Let's go. Oh, Let's go.
Oh. Yo. Let's go.
야! 호호! Phew! Made it! Yeah! Yo! Let's go! Let's go. Made it. Yeah. Yo. Yeah. Yo. Let's go. Yes, I'm a winner. Luigi did it. Phew, made it. Yo. Let's go. go. Oh, yeah.
What?
오호. 하. 요, 야. Let's go. 와, 야. 야. 어, 아. 자, 어. 아, 자. 야. 야. 와. 와. 우. 와. 우. 야. 우. 와. You made it. Yo. Oh, yeah.
What? What? What?